Good rainy Saturday morning. Is there anywhere else you'd rather be than right here? And I just want to congratulate you for being up early in the rain to get here this morning. You have already exemplified a winner just by your choice to be here rather than just wait and hear it on some kind of whatever media. Okay, so I'm not real sure how long, but somebody will stop me when it's time to stop me. And I don't want to go over and take time away from our two amazing speakers this morning. Recently, I did some research, and I discovered these statistics. The average American household income yearly is $50,500. That's the average household income. The average retirement today is $31,742 a year. The average monthly car expense for car, not including gas, just the car payment, insurance, between $450 and $500 a month. The average auto loan debt is $30,738. The average American family debt today is $225,238. The average American household debt today. Only 59% of Americans have at least $500 in savings. And the average family who lost their home in the 2008 crash said they could have kept their home with just an extra $500 per month. And I think you heard another statistic last night about the difference that $500 a month could make for a family. An extra $500 a month means selling from $300 to $400 per week in your business. That is an investment of about 3 hours a week. About 3 hours a week invested in this business could have saved the average family's home that was lost in the 2008 crash. Here's what I know. Had I not joined this company in 1984, those would be my statistics. I would most likely be living those statistics. This opportunity gives us hope for a better life. And no one in this audience this morning should settle for things as they are now. No one in this audience this morning has to even be content with incremental or gradual change. You have the opportunity for exponential growth for where you are today. No matter how you choose to measure success, regardless of how you define achievement, you can bet your life that not a person in this audience this morning has even scratched the surface of what you can personally accomplish. But understand, buying the showcase didn't change my statistics. Buying the showcase won't make any difference until you do something with what you bought. If we want to be different than the above stated figures, we've got to stop thinking and talking average. I truly believe that our state of mind, more than anything out there, will determine our level of success. I believe that the state of our mind, more than anything else, can give us explosive jumps in our personal performance, exponential gains rather than incremental progress. And I want you to begin to adapt that mentality, the mentality of exponential growth, not just a little bit at a time. I believe that our mind can convince us of anything based on what we feed our mind. So don't feed your mind with doubt and with fear and with disbelief. I believe that success is within the grasp of every person in this room if you are willing to do some things you have been unwilling to do. What is it that you have been unwilling to do? Have you been unwilling to pick up the phone, to make the calls? Have you been unwilling to hold skin kisses? Have you been unwilling to leave your home to build your business? What have you been unwilling to do? And I believe that success is within your grasp if you are willing to give up some things that you have been unwilling to give up in the past. And I'm not here today to ask you to take a chance on this opportunity. That's already been proven. There is no taking a chance on this opportunity. It's taking a chance on yourself. It wearies me when people say something like, well, I'm going to give this a year to see if it works. I can tell you right now, with that attitude, no, it won't work. This works if you work. It's already been proven, so stop giving it a year to see if it works. Just go to work, and you will see that it actually does. This morning, I want to share with you the proven system, the proven ideas, the proven thoughts that have served me well and that I believe have served all of the women you saw on this stage last night very well. Many things that I've learned, many things that I've put in practice. And the first thing that I want to share with you this morning is that peace is incredibly important. And many of you this morning do not have peace in your business. You're struggling. You're constantly on and off and in and out and up and down. You don't have peace. And I want you to leave here this weekend with a newfound peace for your business. But peace is a product of two things. It's a product of patience and a product of persistence. It's patience to build this business. Stop looking at quitting as an option. Purchase this with the decision, I'm a lifer in Mary Kay. I think I heard somebody say last night that they could go to the nursing home with their cleansing cream. Make your decision that you will join us in the pink home and we'll all go out together. Be a lifer. Stop giving yourself the option to quit. You will never have peace as long as it is an option, because every day you will wake up deciding, do I quit or do I stay? Do I go or do I stay? Peace is a product of patience. Don't quit. Peace is also a product of persistence. I believe that one of the big problems in this business is not doing something every day. It's being on and off. It's doing something once a week, a few hours a week, and expecting this to give you an executive income. Do something every day. Now, you may decide you're not going to work your business on Sundays. That's fine. Take that day off. But every other day, sell something. What would happen in your business if you had the mentality that every single day I will sell something? And if at the end of the day, I have not sold anything, I haven't held a party, or I haven't done a facial, if at the end of the day nothing has been sold, I'm not going to bed until I make phone calls and sell something. Income coming in every single day. Make that a habit. Another thing I have learned and I believe about this business is that payday always comes. Payday always comes. Now, we tend to compare this to a traditional job. Now, we don't really want the benefits that come with a traditional job. We want the benefits that can come with this opportunity, but yet our mindset still thinks like a traditional job. And a traditional job says, work this week, I'll pay you at the end of the week. And that's not how this business works. Pay doesn't always come at the time as the activity, but payday will always come. You put the effort in, and I can guarantee you the payday will come. Have any of you ever had a party or had a facial and sold absolutely nothing? That would be me too. That would be me too. Have any of you ever done absolutely nothing in your business, didn't even get out of your pajamas all day, and yet you ended up with a reorder call that was like over $100? Payday comes, but it doesn't always come at the time of the activity. Not only does payday come, but again, Unlike the traditional job, this activity will pay you over and over and over again. When you work that traditional job, they will pay you end of the week, but they will never pay you for that week's work again. To get another payday, you have to put in another week. I joined Mary Kay in 1984, and the very first woman who allowed me to practice on her was still purchasing product from me on my retirement date. 34 years, I continued to get paid on the same activity over and over again. Every activity is either one of two things, and this requires a mind shift going to be successful. Every time I put in activity and effort into my business, one of two things will happen. I will either have money, immediate money, or I will learn a lesson. So if you begin to look at your business in that way, you will stop being bothered and upset when you don't get the immediate money. Walk away from that activity and tell yourself two things. First of all, payday may still come from this. Somewhere down the road, I may still get something from this activity an effort that I put in today. But since it didn't come today, let me find the lesson I learned. Let me find the lesson I learned. People go to 4 years, 5 years, however many years of their life. They spend a ton of money to get that education. They sit in the classroom day after day after day with no payday. But yet we expect to get something every time we do something. It might just be it's education day. It might just be that when I did whatever activity I did today, because I didn't get the immediate money, what I was getting was my college education in entrepreneurship. What did I learn today? Either immediate money or a learn. The other thing I believe is that this plan, this business plan that you have taken advantage of will work if you stick to the basics. It bothers me greatly when I see people constantly looking for the next new idea. And I believe that is one of the ways that social media hurts your business. Constantly looking for the next new idea. And the person who's constantly looking for the next new idea didn't work yesterday's idea. Constantly looking for the new one. Let's go back to the business, to the basics, because the basics of this business made our founder extremely successful, and I believe that it will us as well. Going back to the basics of booking appointments, sharing the product, and sharing the opportunity. That's all. Booking appointments, sharing the product, and sharing the opportunity. And basically being willing to get through the numbers. Get through the numbers. The numbers. Ordinary and audacious cannot coexist. Ordinary and audacious are diametrically opposed, and they are mutually exclusive. But the good news is you get to choose. Do I want to be ordinary or do I want to be audacious? Which is it? What you want to be? We want to be audacious, not ordinary. I don't want to be normal. I don't want to be average. I want to be the person that raises the number up to get it to the average level. I don't want to be the one down here that's dragging it down and keeping it lower than it could be. Stop being average. Stop being normal. Make a decision that you will be audacious. Don't be ordinary. Being at the doorway of the greatest opportunity changes nothing. Purchasing a showcase changes nothing. Eventually, you have to walk through the doorway to be successful. Eventually, you have to open the showcase. And eventually, you have to put it in your car and you have to go someplace. Just owning it won't change anything. I think we also need to realize that optimistic people have the very same kind of negative things happen to them as the rest of the world. They just interpret those things different. Don't you get weary of people who always have some drama going on in their life? They always have drama. Always have drama. Guess what? I do too. I just don't tell you all about it. We all have those things happen to us, but how we interpret them and how we deal with them determines our outlook on life and determines our level of success. When something goes wrong for optimistic people, they explain it as temporary. While pessimistic people, it changes their whole life. For an optimistic person, it's here, I've got to deal with it, and I move on, but it does not identify who I am for the rest of my life. It's not a long-term condition. Pessimistic people overanalyze and over-dramatize small failures rather than looking at them as temporary setbacks and rather than looking for the lesson they could have learned from that situation. Problems are going to happen. There is no business person in America today who will tell you their business has been problem-free. Not a one who will tell you that building it was problem-free. But problems are very simply temporary situations. Most people today are not worrying about the same thing they were worrying about a year ago. Are you? So let's stop looking for something new that we can worry about today. When I joined my business, however many years ago, I think I was blessed not to have so much social technology. I think I was blessed to have to figure it out without a help. And basically what I had was the showcase and the training material that came in that showcase. And I worked a very carefully executed plan of booking, coaching, pre-profiling, selling, and recruiting. Booking, coaching, pre-profiling, selling, and recruiting. And I believe that following just those basics of the business and embracing the simplicity of working the basics the way our founder taught us is what made me successful. And we learned very early how to book parties, how to keep our date book full. And I will tell you that when I came into this business, I hated the phone. I was very much an introvert. I did not want to ask anybody to help me, but I very quickly realized that the only that I could get this business off the ground was to ask people to help me. And I made a list of 40 people that I knew that I was willing to call and ask if they would help me. And I went through that list of 40, and I don't remember how many people said yes. I know some said yes, some said no, some said I won't have a party, but I'll just do a facial. And I never wanted to have to go through that again. That was excruciating for me. If any of you identify with that, picking up the phone and making calls and asking was excruciatingly painful for me, and I was willing to do what I had to do to get it started. But then I decided I'll do this the way our founder, and I will never have to get back on the phone again and ask people to have parties for me. And in the 34 years that I was active in Mary Kay, I never, ever again had to get on the phone and call and ask people to book parties because I worked a very carefully executed plan of booking from my parties. And there's not time this morning to really go into all that, but you have a sales director who can teach you how to book from parties. Make that your plan and make that your goal. Every time I had a party, my goal was to book at least 2, because one of those would postpone and I could replace that party with the other one. If my averages were I had to book 3 to get 1 to hold, then I wouldn't leave there until I booked 3. You have to know how good you are. You have to know what your average is. How many bookings do you have to get? How many calls do you have to make to get a booking? How many bookings do you have to get from a party to get that party to replace itself? If you want to grow your business, then you've got to book twice as many to grow. So do you want to replace the party? Do you want to replace an ad? You have to decide. You have to know how many you have to book from a party to grow, how many you have to book from a party just to replace. Get good at booking. And there are some things that I believe make it easier to book from parties, and if I have time, we'll go into that. But just figure out how to book from parties. One of the things is you have got to have a hostess plan that you are excited about. And I'm not even going to go into that today. Talk to your director about it. Come up with one and doggone it, get excited about your hostess plan. I think one of the things that made it easy for me to book from parties was because all those years as a consultant, I didn't change my hostess plan. And some of you are changing it on a daily basis. You go do one party with this hostess plan, and then you see something on social media, and so all of a sudden you're making a new flyer and you're doing something different, and your customers don't know what to expect. I worked very closely with the same customers over and over and over again. I booked the same hostesses over and over again, and they never had to wonder what new trick I was going to pull out of my hat at this party. They knew my plan. And so they knew how to work it to their advantage. And they were excited about gathering more people and gathering new people because they knew exactly what to expect. Get a hostess plan. Get excited about the hostess plan. Learn how to sell the hostess plan and stop changing it. It will be okay if you're still doing the same hostess plan in 30 years. It really will be okay. So stop trying to find a new one that looks and sounds more exciting. Your hostess plan has got to make them want to invite people. It has got to make them want to gather people around the table. It has got to make them want free products. So look at your plan. Does it excite you? Would it make you want to gather people? One of the things that I believe made my business successful was that I did, in addition to growing, I did see the same people over and over and over again. And I created a hostess program that would allow me to go back into my hostesses' homes over and over again. We would have a skincare party first, and then I would go back to that same hostess house, and with those same people, I would do a glamour party, and then I would go back to them, and I would do a pajama party where we would focus on just the supplements, and during the holidays, I would go back to them, and we would do a holiday party. And I built relationships with my hostesses because I was in their homes 3 and 4 or 5 times a year. And they were constantly new people as well as the same people. And because of that, because of working that plan and building those relationships with my hostesses, when I went into qualification to become a sales director on February 1st of whatever year, I just called those hostesses. And I told them that I'd been asked to move into a leadership position with my company and that I wanted them on my team. And at that time, you had to have 30 people to finish. And on February 23rd, I had 31,000 and over 31 people and over 19,000 in production. Now, does not deserve applause because it wasn't done in 23 days. It was done in the years of building the relationships, people, so that the rules were actually met in 23 days. You can do anything and do it fast if you do it well and you build it strong. Start building relationships with your hostesses. This is a business and your hostess is your business partner. And when you start to look at it that way, that she is my business partner, and so what's in it for her and what's in it for me? Let's partner together. Here's what's in it for my hostess, and here's what's in it for me. Start to work with your hostess as a business partner. Start to treat her with the respect that you would treat a business partner, because she is going to be responsible for a lot of the success you get. When she understands what's in it for her, and she understands how to get in it for her, then she's going to work harder for you. It is a business partner that should be mutually beneficial to both. And from that building of hostesses, you can build a team. Write that down. That's important. From building hostesses, you can build a team. And when you build a team from hostesses, you will have a team of people who are building hostesses. If you, and I'm not saying don't do this one thing, but I am saying don't expect to build a successful business on this one thing. And that one thing is going to the mall handing out business cards. Now, you go to the mall and hand out business cards, and you might recruit somebody. But guess what she's going to do? How she's going to build her business? Going to the mall, handing out business cards. And most people cannot handle that amount of rejection. So build your business by building strong hostesses who become strong team members because they are gathering hostesses. I also believe that a part of my success, and this is a part of marriage success, but this is important in life. I've always chosen to live beneath my means and to become debt-free very quickly. And I want to encourage you to set a goal to become debt-free quickly. Those statistics bother me. Make a decision that when you make money in this business, after you've reinvested in the business, you will use the profit to become debt-free. Don't use the profit from your business to go buy more stuff. Use the profit from your business to become debt-free. Anytime you are paying interest, you're losing money. Increase your income by working more of the avenues of income business and decrease your spending. If you are working every avenue of our business and you're increasing your spending, you will never become debt-free. So work every avenue. Have parties. Build strong customers who use everything. Build a team. Work every avenue of business. You're going to have a phenomenal teacher this morning who's going to tell you lots of different ways to sell this product. But use the profit to decrease your debt. What you have and what you own, what you and the bank or the credit card company own, is not nearly as important as what you don't owe. What you have is not nearly as important as what you don't owe. And then another thing that I believe has helped me be successful is that I learned very quickly the difference between sacrifices and trade-offs. I'm willing to make the sacrifices I needed to make. So what are you willing to sacrifice for your dreams? I'm not talking about sacrificing your family, and I'm not talking about sacrificing your faith. But there are things in your life that you have not yet been willing to sacrifice. Maybe it's CSI or Blue Bloods or whatever. I don't know. But there are probably things that you've been unwilling to give up. What are you willing to sacrifice, to completely give up in order to live a debt-free dream life? And then what trade-offs are you willing to make? I never had to sacrifice anything of value for my goals in this business. Now, I want you to hear that. I never had to give up anything of value for success in this business, but I did have to make some trade-offs. Raised 3 daughters, building a business, and I was there for most of their events, but I was not there for every one of them. Occasionally missing some of their events allowed me to give 3 girls debt-free college educations. I remember specifically one time that I had to miss an event for one of my daughters, and I cried. That was one of the most painful trade-offs I made in my career. I cried. She cried too, but she hid it from me. But missing some of my children's events allowed me to give my 3 daughters debt-free weddings. Missing some of those events allowed me to make memories with them when I take all 16 of them on vacations together. And that daughter whose event I missed and cried is a senior sales director in Mary Kay today. I've also learned that there will be disappointments in life, but it is completely my choice whether those disappointments become discouragements or not. Disappointments and discouragements are 2 completely different things. It is okay to be disappointed. It is not okay to allow a disappointment to discourage you. I have learned that in every situation, I get to choose. Am I going to be a victim and blame my circumstances, or am I going to emerge victorious because I've taken a valuable lesson from the experience? Which will it be for you? You cannot run a business of any kind if you do not have sufficient inventory. That shows that you are serious about the business. Your customers don't have to wait, and you look at your business differently. I'm not going to talk about inventory today because I don't know how much you need to run the business that you want. I don't know what your goals are. So all I'm going to say is you have to have enough to run the business that you need to run in order to reach the goals that you have. You cannot set high goals in Mary Kay with an empty closet. And you cannot set high goals and attain those goals if you are embezzling from your business. If you are not reinvesting, if you are not growing your inventory, if you're taking money that should be invested in your business and spending it on something else, that's called embezzling from your business. And in the traditional world, workforce, you would go to jail. I wonder how many people today in this room should be in jail because you have embezzled from your business. Another thing that I believe is extremely important is professionalism. My heart was happy and I had tears in my eyes when I heard Linda Tupin yesterday talk to you about the importance of how to act at this event. Image is an important part of professionalism. And what we choose to wear or not wear says a tremendous amount about our professionalism. And there are some that I believe we should wear, and Mary Kay believed we should wear, that women choose not to wear today. And I can tell you there is a big difference in your professionalism. Your image, your inventory, whether or not you take advantage of training, and your attitude, all that is a part of professionalism and looking at your business in a professional way. If you don't look at your business in a professional way, you can't expect anybody else to. If you don't dress the part and say to the world, I am extremely serious about my business, and this is a profession for me. This is not a hobby. You see, the way you dress, your attitude, the way you act either says to the world, this is just a fun little thing for me, or it says to the world, this is my business. I own a business. I am self-employed. I own my own business. Dress like you are serious about your business. Learn to get through the numbers. I mentioned that earlier. You have to know your own numbers. All of our numbers are going to be different, but you have to know how many people you have to ask to get the number of bookings that you want each week. So you got to start charting your numbers. You got to start keeping records. How many calls do you have to make to get a booking? How many people do you have to have at a party to get a booking? You see, you've got to know what your numbers are so you know how to work through the numbers. When I was building my business, I had to book 8 to get 5 to hold. Your hostess may, and you have to teach your hostess this, she may need to invite 15 to get 5. They think if they're supposed to have 5 at their party, then they are inviting 5 people. No, you have to teach her you're going to have to invite 15 to get 5. If you are looking for a new recruit for your team, you have to know how many people you have to ask to listen to you share the marketing plan. How many people do you have to share the marketing plan with to get one team member? And then you back that up. You don't work for one, you work for the number of people that you have to talk to. We do it back, get in our mind the results we want rather than the amount of activity it's going to take to get the results. So you got to know what your numbers are and be willing to work through the numbers. And I think my time is about up. I don't see anybody who's telling me you're my person. I have about 6 minutes. Okay. Then I'm going to go real fast. You need to get organized. You've got to have a place to work. And I would suggest that you never, ever, ever settle for less than 10 parties a month. 10 parties a month. If you want to go somewhere, now if you're just playing around with it, then do what you want to. But if you want to be a serious businesswoman, and I believe you do, or you would not be in this room at 8:30 on a rainy Saturday morning. I believe you're serious, so I'm going to talk to you like you are a serious businesswoman. Then I'm telling you, if you want to have success in this business, you got to have 10 parties a month. So you figure how many you have to book, but more than likely, you should be booking 10 every 14 days because half of them will postpone, and you'll hold 5 in 14 and 5 in the next 14, and you'll have your 10 a month. So instead of focusing on holding 10 parties a month, you focus on booking 10 in every 14-day period. So every single morning when you wake up, the first thing you should ask yourself is this question: do I have 10 parties booked, coached, and pre-profiled to be held in the next 14 days? And if I don't, the first thing I'm going to do is get booked up to 14. Booked up to 10. Does that make sense? You following me? Every morning, do I have 10 classes booked, coached, and pre-profile for the next 14 days? If not, the first thing I do is I get booked up to 10. Your skincare class, you want to get it so good that you could do it in your sleep. And I can remember as a consultant, it was so good, I could do it in my sleep. You could wake me up in the middle of the night and be standing there with our flip chart open to any page, and I could sit up in bed and start right there, and I could say the words because I practiced and practiced and practiced. Stop doing it just off the cuff. Get in your bathroom mirror and be professionally dressed and talk to the woman in the mirror as though you're selling her sets, as though you're booking her for a party, as though you're sharing the marketing plan with her. Get good. Stop playing. This is serious business. And then, finally, build customers for life. Stop looking at every individual class or facial as an opportunity to sell some product. Start looking at it as going to be a customer who stays with me for the rest of her life. She will buy my product forever, and she will buy more of my product. Start looking, go through your profile box and look at every single customer. What is she not buying? Go sit down and visit with her and show her what she's not buying that she needs. Build customers who never leave you. Once a week, take a customer to lunch and appreciate her. A customer that you have taken to lunch and appreciated going to leave you. And believe me, no cosmetic counter in your town is taking a customer to lunch. Be different, do different, and get different. Brian Tracy, in his book, Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life, says, leave nothing to chance. Don't hope for miracles or a lucky break. Recognize that if it is to be, it is up to me. Make the decision that you will stop giving yourself options. Stay or go. Make the decision that you will stop all the drama associated with this business because you haven't been treating it like a business. Make the decision that you will stop with all the excuses of why you haven't done what you know you need to do. And make the decision that you will no longer almost be a star consultant, almost get in your red jacket, almost make the National Court of Sales, almost earn a car, almost become a director. That your motto from this day forward will be no options, no drama, no excuses, and no more almost. Say it with me. No options, no drama, no excuses, no more almost. No options, no drama. No options. Stand up. No options, no drama, no excuses, no more almost. And I'll see you at